الإسلام ديني والعرض بغير ديني محمد.
Welcome back from that beautiful recitation of Surah Yasin by Mishari Al-Fasi. And of course, many people may be wondering, why do we keep on bringing the same reciter and the same surah? But of course, as Muslims, you know that Surah Yasin has a lot of importance and a lot of significance in the Holy Quran. So, of course, starting a day with Surah Yasin is a very, very important aspect, and of course, it gives you all the barakah. Well, now let's very quickly have the day's motivational talk.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brothers and sisters in Islam, respective viewers, welcome to our program, and would like to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for that opportunity. And I want to ask quickly all my viewers, when was the last time you have a dream? And no one can complain. Everyone got a dream, and some animals even got the dreams. Dreams is a miracle of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is a part of our life, and everyone experiences a dream. But sometimes dreams can irritate us and give us a lot of headache. You dreamed that plague dog was there, snake was there, fire, you were flying, you got this and that. Sisters, in Islam today we'll talk about the dream. Dream, cancel the previous dream. Dreams are three types of dreams. We got something, it's called ru'ya, part of prophecy. We got another one, it's called hulm, which is dream, psychological dream. And we have something, it's called adghathu ahlam. So you got three things: dream, ru'ya, proper dream, and we have hulm from shaitan, and we got adghathu ahlam, a bunch of psychological dream which just have the daily problem and comes to us at night. The first one, nubuwat one, part of prophecy. That one here, very few people got it. So you cannot judge your dream, just you wake up in the morning and say, oh, I had a snake on my life, or in my dream, and I'm worried that my sister-in-law, my mother-in-law, my man. No, not at all. Before we talk about dream, I have to tell you something. You are not Ibrahim alayhi salam to receive that a proper dream from Allah, and also we are not Yusuf alayhi salam to reply and to interpret your dream. So I want to tell my viewers, you mustn't get worried at all about your dream. If you dream good, you have a good dream, alhamdulillah, talk about it. If you have a bad dream, don't talk about it, nothing is from the other part. Don't worry yourself, don't bother, don't have any problem with it. As I said, dream from nubuwat, very rare, alhamdulillah, good dream, ru'ya salihah. We have hulm, like sexual dream, someone wants something in his daytime and he got it at night, is like that. Adghathu ahlam, they call it psychological dream, which all the harvest and collection of the daily problems, someone is hungry, someone fight with this and that is called a dream. Dream, it doesn't mean that you have make istikhara and you got the dream, because many people they mix between istikhara and the dream. Istikhara is the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and dream is a dream. Many kuffar even, okay, the king of Egypt, he got a dream and he gave it to Yusuf alayhi salam and it happened. So it doesn't mean that he was that prisoner in the jail with Yusuf alayhi salam, he got the dream and it happened. It doesn't mean that you are salih, you got that dream, or that you are bad on that dream. One of the wives of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, her husband saw a dream and it happened. So it's not a serious matter. If you have good dreams, say alhamdulillah. If you have bad dream, don't talk about it and count it from that psychological dream, inshallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you a reality, because we cannot judge ourselves because of the dream. We cannot make sharia because of the dream. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you a dream to see Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Shukran jazilan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
MashaAllah, that is a great motivational speaker, and of course some of these talks actually keep us going. Without such spiritual talks, how would our lives really be? And well, now let's have tips on sporting that are brought to you by Professor Solly Said.
Now let's talk a little bit about the background of karate. Karate, as we know it today, actually originated in India. Now this will blow your mind because you think to yourself, how does India connect with karate? Well, in South India, a place called Kerala is where they practice an art called Kalaripayat. Kalaripayat goes back a few thousand years. Actually, the Buddhist monk, who's generally known as the founder of the martial arts, as we know it today, Kung Fu and then eventually karate, was a man called Bodhidharma. He was known as the warrior monk called Bodhidharma. He traveled across from South India over the Himalayas and went into China because he heard that the Chinese were very, very developed spiritually in Buddhism. And he wanted to actually see them and work with them. He was a highly ranked, he was a 28th successor to Buddha. And he wanted to meet these Chinese people. And of course, through the trip, going across the very treacherous mountains and valleys and rivers and dams and oceans, to get to China, he had an entourage of people who eventually disappeared. Many of them disappeared. And he had to fight his way against highwaymen, animals, all kinds of attacks that they would have to face. And given that he studied, or probably must have been involved in the village art called Kalaripayat, he could defend himself. And he taught his young entourage of people that were with him how to fight and how to. They also studied the movements of animals. They studied the movements of snakes, different reptiles. And a lot of those movements were brought into the martial arts. Eventually, this art, when Bodhidharma got to China, he found the Chinese to be very deeply spiritual, but they were very physically weak because there was no physical activity involved. And what he did was he introduced to the Chinese monks the form of fighting which eventually became known as the Shaolin fighting arts. And these temples that he went and taught in became known as the Shaolin temples that we know today. And it is from there, from the Shaolin temples that we hear through the history that we are given, that karate eventually was the birth of karate came about. Right. Karate originated. The word karate came from Okinawa, where it was known as te, or ti, or just the hand fighting techniques of Okinawa. Some Okinawan fighters actually traveled to China to learn how to do the Chinese fighting arts, Kung Fu fighting arts. And they came back to Okinawa, where they created this art of karate do, as we know it. And from Okinawa, karate spread into Japan, and from Japan to the Western world and around the world. And as we know today, it is very, very popular as a sport, as a martial art, and hopefully at some time in the future, it's going to be an Olympic sport as well. The karate is made up of basics, kata, and kumite. Kata is the forms of karate, and kumite is the fighting art, a fighting part of karate. We will try to run through some of the basic movements that you at home could practice yourself, and hopefully the interest will develop where you would want to learn more about this noble art of karate do. Thank you.
And now it's time for news read to you by Nafisa Dango.